What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Make It or Break It Monday, the show that helps you get your head right so you can start your week right. Everything rises and falls on leadership, but most people actually don't lead their own lives. Most of us aren't intentional enough to lead our own lives. A lot of times things happen to us and not because of actions that we actually take. So I thought it'd be good. John Maxwell, guru in leadership, wrote a book earlier this year called Leadership. And he mentions 4 things to be intentional in. So I thought I'd take, over the next 4 weeks, break each one of them down, and we can dive in and go through it together, because we don't actually spend enough time, and I don't spend enough time, intentionally focusing on leadership. I think we do it because of situations or things that occur, but to really study leadership and what specific leaders do to continue to be great will help every single one of us, no matter if that's at home, in the workplace, in the community. It's important for each one of those. And everything starts with understanding that good intentions aren't actually good enough. Good intentions is what we think about, not what we actually do. We have an intention to do something good, but until you actually do something good, it doesn't actually manifest into anything. So where number 1 really starts us off out of this 4-week series is going to be, you need to be intentional about your personal growth and development. Now, I know a lot of us read and do different things, listen to podcasts that continue to help improve our personal growth and development. But I'm going to hit you with a couple things where I think we're not intentional enough. And the first one is to actually create a growth environment for ourselves. It's going to be a place where other people are actually ahead of you. A lot of the time, we're comfortable being with the same area or the same status level as other people around us. But you have to be able to surround yourself and create a growth environment where people are ahead of you. Because not only will you not be challenged being in an environment that's not like that, but you're also going to have to think about, all right, you need a place where you're actually continually challenged. So not only do you need to be around people that are ahead of you, but you also need to continually challenge yourself, because you can't just be around those other people to get better, right? Yes, fantastic, they're at another level, but if there's not a stair-step plan for you to actually be intentional about your own continued growth, then what's the point of being around those people if you're not actually going to implement anything and give yourself a path to be able to improve? And to do that, you need to face forward. And what I mean by that is, a lot of the times we're always looking in the past. You're sitting down with somebody and they're talking about things that happened to them, not things that they're planning on doing. And that's almost every single conversation we have with relatives and other people in our family. It doesn't have to be as extreme as that person who keeps talking about the high school football game, or the person who brings up the same trip that they went on 3 years ago. But understand that when you face forward, when you literally are speaking about what you are going to do, not what has already been done or what has happened to you, you're continuously looking forward in that growth environment. And one thing that's going to be really important as you kind of go along this journey is you're going to have to wake up excited. And that's a hard one, because a lot of us, it's not easy to do. There's other things influencing us and going on inside of our lives. But one thing that has helped me that I read inside here is, it's not about how long it'll take, but how far you can actually go. Because a lot of the time when we think of, hey, what does the next level look like for me? Like, I just did a financial plan for myself, and I didn't even really start to get excited about where I'd be at in my financial plan until about 10 to 15 years from now. And 10 to 15 years for me is like outside my scope of any consumption. Like, I'm still focused on like what's in front of me, but to do some of the things I want to do and think that far out, that's really hard for me. So I had to switch my thinking from how long is it going to take to how far can I actually go. And when you switch your mindset to how far you can actually go, things start to be in the moment. And you can wake up excited about things you can do today. They'll help actually influence that goal, because in the end, there actually is no finish line. We're always moving on to the next thing. So there's a place where you need to understand that failure can actually be your friend in certain situations. Not everything is going to go perfect, But you need to learn from your failures and you need to learn to be comfortable with them. But to do that, you also need to think through what a cycle of success looks like. And a cycle of success starts with something where you're just testing something. And then maybe you fail. But while you fail, you learn something about it and you start to kind of come out of it. And then you're going to improve from what you were able to learn. And then you're going to re-enter into that thing. And when you re-enter, you're actually higher than where you started because you had that learning journey that made you more evolved, made you closer to what you're actually trying to accomplish. And one less thing that you need to focus on, right? So as you go through this journey, as you try to be intentional inside your personal growth and development, you don't need to go to a dream. You need to grow to a dream. And I know this sounds kind of hokey, but all of us are always trying to go to something immediately instead of growing to something. Huge shift in how you're going to go and think and how this transformation inside of leadership really means something for what you're trying to accomplish. So you need a growth environment. You need to be around other people who are ahead of you, and not just that are ahead of you, but a place where you can actually grow yourself. So whether that's an outside activity or who you surround yourself with, both of those are really important. But you also need to focus on what's forward. Focus on what's forward, what's going to happen, what you are doing, and stop talking about what has happened to you. You need to wake up excited, not worried about how long something's going to take, but how far you can actually go. Think through that cycle of success and how you're going to come out higher on the other end. And just remember, you don't go to a dream, you grow to a dream. So this is, like I said, first of 4 pieces. Hopefully this helps have you think through leadership in a little bit of a different way. But go out and be intentional this week, and I'll talk to you next week. Thanks.